There's a way you can get so good at marketing that people start praying to work with you, to pay you, to become your client. And these strategies that I'm about to show you have been used on you by your favorite brands. They have been used by Apple, they have been used by Nike, they have been used like Tesla, and they use it on you to make you think that you need to buy their product. And now, in order to understand how they make you feel in a way that you need their product, and to some extent even pray that you buy specific products or services. You see, most people think that prayer is this magical thing where you sit in a quiet place and talk to God and tell him what you want, like he's some kind of a genie. But far from the truth. What I will tell you next will blow your mind, because it is quite opposite of what everybody has been telling you about prayer. In the Bible, God is telling us to use prayers not only to get what we want, but primarily to align our thoughts with his will and his goodness. Prayer portrayed in the Bible is intentional programming of your sinful thoughts. And God wants us to pray intentionally because he knows how humans are easily persuaded and turned away from God if there's no intention. Like Jim Rohn said, you're the sum of five people that you spend the most time with. So you can say you're the sum of 5 thoughts that you spend the most time with. So technically, prayer is every thought that you have in your mind. You can take control over it by praying. That's why Apostle Paul said in 1 Thessalonians 5, 16 to 18, pray without ceasing. In the 17th verse, he said, how can we pray without ceasing if we have to make it intentional? It's because your every thought is prayer. Your every thought. But God knows that when you go out into the world, you get persuaded by circumstances, by your surroundings, by people you spend time with, and God calls you, go back to your closet and pray to me so you can align back to my will, to my goodness, so I can purify you. If that makes sense, then we can conclude then that every thought that you have in your mind is a prayer. And this is how companies like Apple, Nike, Tesla use intentional prayers to make you have passive prayers in your mind. They make you think about them frequently and associate their brand with good feelings. More on this in a second. And this will blow your mind. Truthfully, this will blow your mind. Nobody has ever talked about this in a way I'm about to explain. Let's first break down how to make people think of your brand in the most random situations. Then I will give you a concrete social media strategy you can use to make this happen. So, there are 2 ways you can make people think about you constantly. Number 1 is repetition, and number 2 is emotional impact. For example, when you study, the way brain works is that it remembers things. It sends information from short-term memory into a long-term memory by repetition. The more you repeat it, the more you tell your brain, okay, this is important. Remember it. Information goes into your long-term memory when you repeat it enough. And then emotional impact is the second thing. The more you care about the subject you're learning, the more you tell your brain, okay, this is important, focus on it, my life depends on it, maybe. That's when it's easier to remember things, and it takes less repetition to embody, make the memory stick in your mind. So for example, trauma. That's why people who had a childhood trauma or were in a car accident oftentimes remember every single millisecond of that trauma. For them, every second lasts like a year. They can come back to the situation, to that experience, and visualize and feel every single thing about the trauma. Why? Because of high emotional impact, of the emotional spike that was, of the adrenaline that was in them during that trauma. The more you spike their emotions, the easier you're remembered by your audience. The same way you should treat your marketing strategies. You should show up in front of people as frequently as possible. And every time you show up, you need to create a big emotional impact. You make your brand message show up as intentional prayer until it becomes their passive prayer. That's how Apple does it. That's how Nike does it. That's how every famous brand does it who knows anything about marketing. So let's break down the most effective way to send intentional prayers and turn strangers into lifelong clients and customers. And from now on, the advice I'm about to give you are only gonna get more and more valuable and mind-blowing. All right. If you want to make people think about your brand in the most random moments, you need to repeatedly show up in front of them as much as possible. But most of you make a mistake of relying on client acquisition methods like cold outreach, or even worse, referrals. This is very low leverage, and you cannot show yourself in repetition repeatedly over and over again in such volume that you make your presence stick in their mind, so they think about you, your offer constantly. If you want to get more clients without losing your life in process, you need to create a clone of yourself. For example, I posted one LinkedIn video and it got 3.5 million views. It would take me 4 quadrillion years to reach 4 million people with cold DMs or referrals if I do it manually. If you want to master content creation, you can look at some of my recent videos and see how you can create attention on demand and create a cult-like audience with your followers. But let's go further. So repetition is the first thing. You have all probably heard about Google's 7-11-4 rule, which states before they buy a consumer needs to spend 7 hours of engagement across 11 touch points in 4 separate locations. Now, most of you have understood this rule completely wrong because you forgot that this rule is on average. On average. Do you want to be average? Let me ask you. Do you want to be average? No? Well, I'm glad if you said no, because I'm about to tell you how you can be an exception to this rule. People don't need to spend with you 7 hours. People don't need to see you on 11 different touch points or at 4 separate locations. It can be done much quicker and more efficient. So it says they need to see you on 4 separate locations. So here are some of the locations. You can be on Facebook, on Instagram, email, YouTube, lead magnets, sales calls, Threads, Twitter, VSL, LinkedIn, webinar. You have many options to be omnipresent. However, these are not all the same. There are differences in how effective these are, which takes me to the levels of impact. In order to persuade someone, you can just show up in front of them more and more times until they believe what you're telling them. Or you can just impact them on a higher level and you don't need to show in front of them all that much. You see, there are 6 levels of impact on social media. The first level is image and text posts. Not very effective because they don't see you, they don't hear you, they don't feel your energy. All they do is read your words. Now, a level above that is short form content. Short form content is better because now they can see you. They can see you, hear you. So you're attacking 2 sensory units, both ears, auditory, and eyes, which is visual. But short form content is not perfect because it's short. They only spend 30 to 60 seconds with you. That's the problem. They need to be exposed more to you during longer periods of time. That takes me to the next level, which is YouTube videos. Now you can post a YouTube that is 20 minutes long, 30 minutes long, an hour long, masterclass. They spend 1 hour with you. They see you, feel you, sense your energy, hear you, and also they spend longer periods of time with you. Now, live streams are the next thing. There's just something about when you're live with them they can sense more of your energy when you can transfer more of your energy when they're live watching you. Then one-on-one sales calls when they interact with you, when you go back and forth, and in real life. Now this is not ideal. You won't be able to get them in real life. Let's talk about how can you make such an impact so quickly that they don't need to spend 7 hours with you. For example, let's just freestyle it. Boom. Instead of doing image and text posts, they're not effective. Stop posting text and image posts. Start with short form content. Get their attention with short form content. Short form content is amazing for getting attention, but it's not great for nurturing. So get their attention with short form content or ads. So we will use, let's say, Instagram. Top of the funnel. Instagram. Boom. All right. Then immediately give them a call to action where you will tell them you will give them some kind of a lead magnet. And that lead magnet will be in form of a YouTube video. You will send them a link of your YouTube video where you solve some kind of a problem. And that YouTube video is 30 minutes long. Okay, and then on that YouTube video, you can give them a call to action to book a call with you. But also you can give them a call to action at the very end of the video. The last sentence, you say, and you can also watch this another video, and you point it out on the screen and you say, watch this video to do this as well, to solve this problem as well. And now they watch 2 videos, 30-minute videos, 1-hour videos. Now they spent so much time with you with such high impact levels, on such high impact levels, hearing you, seeing you, like they're seeing you in person. They're literally looking at you. They're getting so much value, so much dopamine is being spiked. They start to trust you. And the moment they trust you, the moment they start thinking, well, if this man is making me feel good, making me feel so good, and is helping me so much for free, how much will he or she be able to help me if I pay him? And that, my brethren, is when they're ready to buy. If you pitch them at that moment, it's done. It's done. Now they're very, very qualified once they watch a couple of your YouTube videos. And now you give them a call to action to book a call with you. All right? Sales call. Boom. They're in sales call. And then when they book a sales call, after they book a sales call, you give them a pre-call video training that is 30 minutes that handles all of the objections that you get on sales calls. Or would you look at that? Now you don't have objections on your sales calls because every objection is handled in your video. Now you're not hopping on sales calls with unqualified leads or prospects because they're very, very, very qualified and nurtured and warmed up through this sequence. That is very simple. And now you can play around with it. You can add a VSL. You can add it on you as a YouTube video, a VSL, or you can put it in the description to watch the VSL before they book a call. Or you can give them a lead magnet additionally in your DMs, and also continue talking to them in DMs and book a call that way. And in the meantime, while they're watching all the VSLs, all the YouTube videos, all the pre-call trainings, well, not pre-call trainings, all the YouTube videos while they're watching, they're also talking to you in DMs. They're asking questions. Most importantly, you are asking them questions and qualifying them. And then just boom, DMs, boom, sales call and pre-call here as well. There are so many ways you can famooze this. So many ways. You can use LinkedIn. You can use Twitter, Threads, Facebook, email. There's email, well, it's not that high of an impact, but it's good. You can use it to repurpose into YouTube. Very well for nurturing. Just be omnipresent and play around with it. And now they don't have to spend 7 hours because this Instagram video is 30 seconds. This YouTube video is 30 minutes. This YouTube video is 30 minutes. This VSL is 4 minutes. And this pre-call is 30 minutes. So that's like 2 hours. Now, pay attention to this. This is very important. You need to create a frictionless environment. A binge-watchable sequence. You need to create an environment where they frictionally go through these videos. The moment they send you a DM, automatically, you use ManyChat, automatically they get a DM and they get a link to watch this YouTube video. And then in that YouTube video, you help them so much that you tell them, okay, watch this video as well. They'll gladly do it if you give them so much value. And now you're creating frictionless, they're binge watching it. It's very important to make it binge watchable because you want them to, as the moment they see your video on Instagram, you want them to be repurposed to the other YouTube video and the other YouTube video immediately without watching your Instagram video and then going on with their day, going spending time with their family or just doing life. You don't want them to go. The moment they see you, it's very important to immediately create a sequence of actions for them to take immediately. They need to, that's the goal, ideal goal, to make them go Instagram, DM, YouTube, VSL, prequel sequence, sales call. Immediately. Don't make them wait. Don't make them Instagram, DM, and then they go live their life. And after 2 or 3 days, when they get cold again, and they even forget about you, who you are, and then they go into DM and say, oh yeah, I can watch this YouTube video. And then they watch this YouTube video, and then they again spend a couple of days, forget about you, a week, a month, and then they see another YouTube video or an Instagram video. That's how you won't get them to buy. That's how you have to spend seven hours and be an average. If you want to be an average, you do you. I'm gonna tell you, I don't want to be average. Create a binge watchable sequence, a frictional sequence that won't cause them to stop watching you. Just create a smooth process. Instagram, DM, YouTube, prequel sequence, sales call. That's it. They're sold. They're sold. Your close rate will skyrocket. Your conversion rate will skyrocket. Your leads quality will double. Your leads amount will double. The time it takes them to buy will decrease. And then they need to spend 2-3 hours with you. Even that. 1 hour. You can do it in 1 hour. If you create so much connection through one YouTube video, you can send them immediately to sales call. That's it. That's the thing. That's the impact. So emotional impact. And then just associate your brand and offer with getting more pleasure and less pain. Every time they see your face, they need to get more pleasure and less pain. And then you just repeat that. For some people, it will take 2 hours to decide to book a call with you. For some, it needs repetition. We're not all the same. Fortunately, humans are predictable. We all love pleasure and we don't like pain. So there are some things that we can control. You can put things in your control. Don't be average. Be omnipresent as much as possible. Repeat your presence. Give them pleasure. Reduce the pain. And then just create a frictionless environment where they can binge watch your videos. Now, the best brand you can build today is a personal brand. If you want to learn how to build the personal brand correctly, with clarity, and build a cult-like following with your personal brand, click on this video, watch it, and I'll see you there. Bye.